Okay, wonderful. Welcome, both of you. I really appreciate you tuning in today to talk a little bit more about high school, how it works at Kinuso School, and how we can support your student when they go forward in regards to their high school course selection. So I'd first off just like to discuss with you guys our role here as career coaches. So I work Tuesdays and Thursdays here at Kinuso. And in that time frame, I'm able to support your student to have conversations over the next 4 years about their university plans, their college plans, or entering into the workforce. And in those conversations, we discuss the classes they need, what other career potential exploration opportunities are coming available. We also have campus tours coming forward, as well as different career opportunities if they'd like to do some on-the-job training or even observation placements. So in my role, I'm able to get to know your students a little bit better and then have a conversation about where we can best get some inroads into their future goals. So as a review, for graduation requirements, the biggest thing when we went into our grade 9 classes is ensuring that students know that it's not about just the 100 credits. In that 100 credits, there is some specific coursework that needs to be obtained. So when we go over with our students, we want to ensure that they're aware of this. So in the 100 credits, students are required to have Phys Ed 10, which we have put into your students' schedule if they're entering grade 10. They also are required to have a 20 level math and a 20 level science, as well as a 30 level English and a 30 level social studies course. There is one more course that they're required in Alberta to take, and that is called Career and Life Management, CALM for short. And it's recommended most students take that in their grade 11 year. However, if it fits in some of our student schedules, they'll take it in grade 10 and potentially even in grade 12. We do have students who are quite academic, so we do recommend that they do take 10 options, 10 credits in options-based courses to have a well-rounded portfolio. So in those potential options, they could take a fine arts, they could take CTS type courses, which stands for Career and Technology Studies. And then we also have students who need to take 10 extra credits at a 30 level. So if they're not taking them through an academic course like a science or a math, then we look at these other options type credits or even work experience, which we'll talk about a little bit more throughout the presentation. So how our students choose which courses they start their high school career path in is through grade 9 recommendations. So your students have been recommended, if they are in grade 9, to take either an English -1 or a -2. This is based on a couple of factors. It has to do with their overall academic achievement. It has to do with the effort they're putting into their studies, as well as their motivation to not have any missing assignments in. So if that is the case, then they would be recommended for a -1. And if they are struggling a little bit with any of the 3 factors that I've listed here, and their grade point average is a little bit lower, then they will be recommended for an English 10-2, because our main goal is that our students are very successful. Successful meaning that they obtain at least a 50% and they are passing their courses. So we want to put them in the right stream to ensure that they can pass those courses and do their best at that level. So what do these streams mean, or what do they dictate? So a -1 stream lets us know that your student is interested in taking university type courses after they graduate from high school. If they take a -2 route, this still allows them to take some potential college or trade school type courses, as well as entering into the workforce. So we want to make sure that students have, if they're not 100% sure what they want to do, we at least want to have the conversation about where they're planning to go, so we can ensure that they're choosing those classes to dictate their course path. So social studies looks the same as English in regards to The options being a -1 or a -2 for the student. And again, based on the same criteria, we have put some percentages associated with these. So if they're not over a 70 in social 9, then potentially they'll be suggested to go into a -2. And if they're over that, then they'll be suggested for -1, again, for these purposes. So social studies is one of those courses that not every student uses for their university entrance. So in grade 11, they may decide to go to a social 30-2 if they're focusing more on some of their other science-based courses. As students need 5 30-level courses to enter university, and sometimes they use other courses like an additional science or potentially a fine arts credit to get in to use as a average booster as opposed to using their social studies, which not for every student, but for some could be a lower mark. So ensuring that students are aware of these options when they're looking at applying to post-secondary. So math looks a lot more convoluted. And so we like to really have these parent presentations so you're aware of where your student is at in regards to choosing math. So in Math 9, if your student has over an 80% and they're not struggling at all with the Math 9 concepts, they'll be recommended to go into Math 10C. From there, they have the option in grade 11 to then choose Math 20-1 or Math 20-2 to then go on to the 30 level. So if a student is taking Math 10C, the understanding is they're planning on going to a university or college-bound course. And then following the progression based on that. So what types of post-secondary programs require Math 20-1, 30-1? They're mostly science and math-based programs. So if our students are telling us they want to go into engineering or if they want to get a Bachelor of Science, then the recommendation would be to take Math 30-1. If our students are thinking they're going to go into something related to nursing or teaching or more arts-based, then Math 30-2 is definitely a good course for them to take if they think they can get a higher average to then enter into post-secondary. If a student is struggling a little bit with the concepts in Math 9, but still has a pretty good understanding, just needs a little bit of extra practice, the student will be recommended for Math 15 to take in the first semester of grade 10 and then take Math 10C in the second semester. So basically we call this Math 15 as a bridging course to Math 9 and Math 10C because Math 10C is quite a difficult course. If your student is not strong at math and does not want to pursue university or college type courses, then the recommendation for a high school diploma as well as a skills trade is Math 10-3. And then the progression would be to Math 20-3. And then depending on which trade they're interested in, the recommendation would be to take math to a 30-3 level. Again, to meet high school recommendations and to ensure that your student gets a high school diploma, math is required to take to a 20 level. So then we have science, and again, different than the English and social, not as straightforward, but your student would have been recommended in grade 9 to go into either Science 14 or Science 10. Science 10, just like Math 10C, is kind of like the gateway course to then take the more specific sciences of biology, chemistry, and physics. So Science 10 has the introductory to these 3 specific categories of science. And then from there, your student can decide whether they're going to take 2 of these sciences to a 20 and 30 level or 3 of these sciences to a 20 and 30 level. And then in Kinuso School, we also offer Science 20 and Science 30. So if your student decided they wanted to take biology 20 and then just a 30 level science, they could take Science 30 after that. And Science 30 is also one of those courses that is acceptable to most post-secondary university as an entrance course. So some of our students have chosen to take Science 30 in order to meet that 5 credit course requirement. If your student is recommended for Science 14, then the next progression would be for them to go to Science 24. However, if they're looking at going into any category B trades, so specifically into mechanics, or they're thinking of going into electrician or plumber, then they would be needing Science 10 in order to avoid writing a entrance exam when getting to skills trade school. So our recommendation would be from Science 14 that your student then takes Science 10 to meet the grad requirements, and then from there can choose if they want to take a science to a 20 level. So the other ways our students achieve those 30 level core credits or the 10 option style credits required is through our other options like career and technology studies, as mentioned before. These include foods, cosmetology, shop, mentorship, finance, and computer science, as well as the fine arts. So you can take art to a 30 level, drama to a 30 level, and music to a 30 level. We also want students to know that they can take French, as well as Aboriginal studies or GYM 20 and 30. So due to the size of our school, sometimes these courses are offered virtually, but we want you to know that if your student does require these courses, we would ask them to put it in their course selection so that they can choose these. And then from there, we can follow up with the next 20 level and 30 level. So some other ways that your student can achieve credit outside of high school is through 4 different ways that I'd like to discuss with you now. So the first one is called the Registered Apprenticeship Program, or the RAP program. This is hands-on based learning for your student if they are considering doing a skills trade or going into a specific journey person certificate after they graduate. So some of these apprenticeship programs, I'll just click on here. So the options are on Trade Secrets Alberta, but your student can actually go into any of the following while they're still in high school. The benefits of the RAP program is that the student can obtain high school credits as well as hours towards their registered apprenticeship. So we really want students, if they're interested in any of these trades, to look at this option because it's really good for them to get a head start on it prior to going into their trades after school. The other opportunity for your students is called dual credit. And this is where your student can take a college or university course or pre-employment course prior to them actually graduating. It's called dual credit because your student will get credit not only in high school, they'll get 5 30 level credits, but they will also get 3 university or college credits depending on the courses they choose. So through High Prairie School Division, we have quite an extensive post-secondary dual credit opportunity, and these are completely free to your student. So we have students coming back for year 4 or even year 5 to take these dual credit opportunities because they're able to do the schooling for free. So I just want to bring your attention to the High Prairie School Division website. Under Parents and Students Career Coaching, there is dual credit opportunities, and that's where we brought it here to show you guys. So what are some of these dual credit opportunities? Just to give you an example, we have career and occupation exploration. We have workplace training and certification, as well as university studies and preparedness. So some of them in the career and occupation exploration, we have agreements with Northern Lakes College and Olds College. And some of the more popular ones have been introductory to veterinary profession, leisure sport and sporting events and recreation operations, as well as through SAIT, we have a business management course. So really getting our students to explore outside of those specific careers that they're aware of. Some of the other opportunities are university specific. So if your student is planning on going into lab or x-ray technology, they do have requirements to do medical terminology as well as anatomy and physiology prior to the NAEP program. So as long as your student meets the prerequisites, which are listed all on our program website, your student's able to take these $775 courses for free through our school division. So they will be meeting those prerequisites and taking the course. We would put this in your student schedule so that they can achieve this in the regular school day and not have to do it outside of their everyday schoolwork. So most of our students do grade 10 without any dual credit. And then once they meet some of the prereqs, they can then do the dual credit in grade 11 and or 12. The one thing you want to be aware of for dual credit is that your student doesn't take over 9 credits. So that would be 3 dual credit courses prior to applying to post-secondary, because then they will be considered a post-secondary student as opposed to a high school student. So we really encourage students who are thinking first year sciences or first year arts to take either an introductory English course or even a stats course, because they transfer to pretty much any 4-year degree. And then the last one is our pre-employment opportunities. We'll just go back up to the top. So some of our students stay on for an additional year for our pre-employment opportunities. So potentially they haven't been able to find an apprenticeship program to date. So if that is the case, then they would enter into our pre-employment opportunities. And so I'll just take you through those quickly. And basically we have pre-employment in carpentry, electrical, heavy equipment technician, industrial, mechanic, as well as welding. And those can be shared either through the Slave Lake Northern Lakes campus or the High Prairie Northern Lakes campus. The one program we always like to highlight as well is that you can do your entire certificate of a healthcare aide your additional year after high school. So again, a really good opportunity for students who know they want to work in healthcare. They're just not sure which area. They could then obtain this healthcare aide certification 1 year after they graduate high school. So another opportunity for our students is called the Green Certificate Program. So again, the Green Certificate, a student can obtain 16 credits toward their high school diploma in the following areas through the government. So your student may be interested in bee production, calf-cow production, dairy production, equine production, just to name a few. And if they are interested in these, the requirement is basically over 3 years, your student can complete booklet form of outcomes that need to be met. And the teacher could be you as the parent, if you guys own a farm. It could be students going to visit a farm where they know someone quite well. And it really is an opportunity for students to learn all about the agriculture industry through the Alberta government. And then there is some testing, which is quite informal. However, it is through certain testing days throughout the year. And then students are able to achieve the 16 credits by completing the required coursework. So it's really nice for our students who have an interest in the agricultural field. They're able to meet those demands as well, which can be done outside of the classroom. And then lastly, we have the work experience opportunity. So our students are able to gain work experience either in the school itself or by going out into the workforce and finding an area of interest for them to log hours towards gaining some experience in that specific field. So some of our students do work experience through their regular work, or whether they do it over the summer through their opportunities through summer jobs. But how work experience works is students work 25 hours and they are awarded 1 credit with a minimum in being signed up for work experience that you obtain 75 hours to get 3 credits. So how many credits can go towards your student's high school diploma? They can take 15 credits through work experience. So if your student needs a total of 100 credits, 15 of those can be done through work experience. And again, the purpose is for career exploration, for your students to gain skills in the workforce and feel confident when moving forward after high school. So this year we have an exciting opportunity for students going into grade 11 and 12. We have a program called Writing 1000 where we actually are working directly with the University of Lethbridge to collaborate with our teachers to specifically give your student the skills of how to write academically for university level courses. So this program will be delivered by a high praise school division teacher, as well as 2 days a week. They will be visited by a college professor from the University of Lethbridge to then deliver, provide feedback, and really allow your students to explore their opportunities of writing, gain some skills so that when they go out into university, they feel confident being able to meet the demands and the expectations of that university level skill. So this again is through course selection, which I'll show you guys shortly after the presentation. So all of our course selection process is through My Blueprint, and every high praise school division student has a My Blueprint account. And from here, this is where students have their specific plans worked out for them. So we went into different classes throughout the school and reviewed My Blueprint with your student to then have them feeling confident when they map out their grade 10 year, their grade 11 year, and their grade 12 year. So I encourage you to ask your student to show you their course plan and walk through that with you. We encourage our students to talk with their parents to ensure that you as support people can be there for your student to have a conversation and help guide them through with your experience and knowledge. So My Blueprint is also used for college and university exploration because it has every program and college course delivered throughout Canada right in one location. So if your student were to enter code words such as teacher or code words such as electrician, every program and opportunity associated with that career cluster would come up, and then your student could explore all programs, not just in locations close to them, but all around Canada. So very quick reference to see what opportunities are out there and which programs kind of specialize in certain areas. The other thing My Blueprint is really good for is getting your student ready for the trades and workforce. So there is an area where they can create a resume and a cover letter, and we really want to beef up those kind of skills for your student prior to them leaving high school. So everything that they do over the next 3 to 4 years is us adding different skills and experiences that they've had onto their resume and cover letter so that when they leave high school, they have some actual documentation of some of the skills that they're able to bring to the workforce. So those skill building opportunities happen throughout the next 3 to 4 years. So again, so that your student can really see how they're valuable when entering into the workforce. So the last portion is just scholarships and bursaries. And we really want students and their parents to know that right now, every student is eligible for the Alexander Rutherford Scholarship. So what this is $2,500 maximum towards your student, basically for achieving grades over 75% in their grade 10, their grade 11, and their grade 12 year. So the Alexander Rutherford Scholarship can be mapped out through My Blueprint. So their total will be on there at the end of their grade 10 year, their grade 11 year, and their grade 12 year. And so if a student, I can just click on it, if a student achieves higher than 75% to 79.9% in grade 10, 11, and 12, they're awarded a certain amount of money. And then if they are given over 80%, they're given even more money. So we just want you to be aware that your student right now is eligible for this amount of money. And then at the end of grade 12, they apply and basically explain where they're going to school. show proof of enrollment, and then they will be given a check for the amount of money that they are awarded. Sorry, I'm just looking for the actual coursework, but I think I skipped through here just to show you guys which courses. The biggest thing we want our students to know is that it is for students in the -1 and the -2 route. So students are eligible as long as they keep that over 75% average in 5 courses. And they're not all academic courses. So they can use 5 separate courses, some being gym, some being art. So it's important that your student is aware of that. We also have opportunity for your students to get local scholarships in their grade 12 year, bursaries from our generous donors around the area, as well as career specific opportunities. So if your student is aware that they want to go into teaching, there's ATA scholarships. If your student's thinking nursing, there's health specific scholarships. And it is a conversation that we have with your student about how they're planning on funding their post-secondary education. So we really want to have a plan so when your student leaves, they feel like they have a way to fund their post-secondary education. And then the last one is also making sure where students apply, they know that they can apply right in those locations for entrance specific scholarships, as well as many different opportunities. So just being aware of that. Why does this matter? If my student's going into grade 10 or 11, they can apply to them, but it really does matter because most scholarship applications do ask about community involvement. They ask about leadership qualities. They ask about, what your student has really done to shine in regards to not only academia, but also as well as just being an overall well-rounded individual. So we want your student to be aware of that so they can start building up their skills in regards to scholarship opportunities. So this is kind of a point where I open it up for questions, but before I do, just knowing that you guys can get a hold of me at any point, either through email or calling Kinuso School directly. If I am not here, meaning it's a Monday, Wednesday, or Friday, that Cassie at the front desk will definitely let me know that you've been in touch and that you want me to give you a call, or you can email me. So I'm just going to show you now my blueprint, because I want you guys to see what this is about. I can't see it on here. There we go. Let's move this down a little bit. Oh. And so again, this is a program that your student has access to as long as they log in. It can be accessed through the Kinuso School website if they're logged in with their credentials from school, and it is the same. So what your student gets to view through My Blueprint is basically they have the opportunity to do some personality type tests, and really from completing some of these specific quizzes, specific to them. They can learn about their learning styles. They can learn about personality type traits, some of their interests, knowledge, motivations. And then from there, they can find compatibility. Sorry, it's just on the side here. They can find compatibility, potentially careers to get them started. When they go to a compatibility survey, it will show them a list of different potential opportunities that have come up. So right here, you can see, a lawyer or a freight forwarder, a financial analyst, camera operator. And from here, if a student is interested in those, we ask them to add them to their portfolio, or we ask them to learn a little bit more about it so they can get started, talk about how they could map out a career in that specific area. So really just that one-stop shop of where our students can start. So the part I want to bring your attention to now is the high school portion. So this is where students can map out their courses for course selection. So if your student is entering in grade 10, we would ask them to enter into their recommended courses from their teachers, which we had all entered for the grade 9 students. So they're in there now, as well as, so that's for their core courses specifically. So either English 10-1 or -2, social 10-1 or -2, math 15, math 10-3 or math 10C, and then science 10 or science 14. The other course that we added in for your student entering into grade 10 is Gym 10 because it is a grad required course. So from there, we ask students to then add 3 to 5 more courses based on their interest. 3 courses if we do a 4-block delivery, and 5 courses if we offer a 5-block delivery. So they were still debating on which way we're going to go. So as soon as we know, we just had your student choose 3 to 5 additional courses. So from here, whether it's one of those options-based courses, so shop or art, but I would just like to show you now how you can help your student choose the course if they have not yet done that. So you just click on a course, and from there you scroll down, displaying all the opportunities for your student. So all of the career cluster type courses or options type courses can be found in the career and technology studies section. So we have foods, cosmetology, industrial education, also known as shop, mentorship, finance, and computer science. Then we have the fine arts opportunities. I'll just scroll down here. Fine arts, where your student can choose art or drama or music. And then we have work experience, as well as the other classes that I talked about. So career and life management, dual credit. And again, if your student is looking at a dual credit, they're all listed here under the dual credit delivery. So if I were to go into addictions counseling courses, just to give you an example, it tells you about what the course is and where it's offered, Northern Lakes College. And then it tells you your prerequisites that your student needs to have. So as I was saying, most students in grade 10 don't take dual credit. They look at it and plan their courses for grade 11 and 12. So right here we have English 20-1 as a prerequisite at 70%, English 20-2 at a 75%. Social, again, they recommend a 65 in 20-1 or a 70% in 20-2, and then a co-requisite. So doing it at the same time, letting your student know that the recommendation is to have that higher level English, doing it at the same time. So this course most students would do in their grade 12 year. So if your student wanted to even put these in their course plan for grade 12, they can definitely map that out. So we just want you to be aware as parents that these opportunities are available to your student as long as they meet the prerequisites. So quite a huge variety of opportunity, practical nursing courses, sports management courses, marketing courses. So really just a huge gamut of opportunity for your student if they're interested in doing some pre-planning for their career goals. So I'll just go back up to the top here and pick Aboriginal Studies 10. So you literally click on it and then that will show up here. From here, once your student has decided that they have the 8 to 10 courses that they want to put forward, then we would ask you to review that with your student, review course selection. It's going to tell you that you still have all these opportunities because I said I was in grade 11. You can go forward as long as you're happy with your 8 to 10 courses. And then you would submit your course selection plan. From there, I will follow up with each student and review it to ensure that they're happy with the courses that they've selected. This can be adjusted, and this is where we send home a piece of paper so that you, the parent, can sign off saying that you agree to the courses that your student has selected. So if for some reason you want to have a conversation about that, we would be more than happy to walk you through the course selection process. But in selecting courses, we always ask our students to make sure that they look into the post-secondary programs that they're interested in. So as I said, this post-secondary button has the opportunity for apprenticeships, college and university programs, as well as workplace. So if we enter into college or university opportunities, from here, we then can be more specific. So we can choose what category we might be interested in or your student is interested in. We can choose what province your student wants to study in, or even a specific city, if they know the institution. And then you can say specifically if they're looking at a college or a university. So again, with university, it's usually a 4-year program, and college, can be a 2 to 3 year program. And then depending if they're going for the diploma or the certificate. So my blueprint always has suggestions up for students when exploring certain criteria. So as you can see, graphic design, graphic computer design, and graphic design and photography have all come up of areas of interest. So you can click on any area that your student might be interested in. From there, it explains what the program is, tells you a little bit more about it. You can visit that specific program website. There's also, this one doesn't say specifically, but it tells you a program length and how much the tuition is. We'll just go back. You can go there to the program website, and then it tells you what the requirements are to get into the program. Okay. I'm going to just go back. That one says a high school diploma. We'll check this one out just to give you some idea. Okay, so this one again, a high school diploma. And so this is really good for our students who are just planning on getting their high school diploma and not sure what other areas they're interested in. And then one more. If you look at the requirements. And it says, please visit. So we would look at what the admission requirements are for this specific program. And it takes you right to the website. So that is kind of the more or less what I wanted to show you as parents in regards to my blueprint, because it's really important that your students can just keep navigating and exploring the different opportunities. So if they do find a program of interest, they can create a portfolio specific to this grade. So they can open a new portfolio and they can label it whatever they'd like. Potential interests. We have grade 11. This one's take your kid to work day portfolio. So really just any sort of portfolio of interest, which will then allow you guys to continue on your conversation about where your student wants to go in regards to their post-secondary plan. From here, I also mentioned my blueprint is good for work. So this is where you can look up specific occupations. It takes you to government websites talking to you about different areas of career exploration. But then here, your student can make a resume and cover letter right here on this program and keep it saved here for them to then export. Talked a little bit about money as well. Your student can budget for their plans, as well as more resources available to them about career and life planning. And then again, when your student has any sort of favorites, it's listed right here. So one graphic designer came up, talks to you about their salary, talks to you about the outlook and the opportunity. So that is everything I want to share with you guys right now about course selection and opportunities for your students. I'm going to open it up to any questions now. I'll stop sharing. And I just want to make sure that I've answered your questions, or I can kind of go through.